Alright, we back, and it's nice because we finally getting into the swing of the other sports now that kind of college basketball is finally winding down. So we decided we're going to start with the NBA. Obviously, we still have some NCAA videos to make. We're just kind of making these ones first because we want to wait for the other games to finish. But first off, two things. One, I got this. I'm super excited. I love this jersey. Also, for those of you who don't know, stitched into the side, it says We Believe because this was modeled after the We Believe Warriors of 2008. And I don't know, 2008 or 2007? No, I think it was 2008. No, I think it was 2007.
You'd know better than me.
It's either 2008 or 2007, because 2006 I know they went to the finals. I don't know why I'm completely blanking out on this, but I don't know. Just that little We Believe thing on the side was pretty cool. And then the other thing is the unfortunate hearing of Elgin Baylor passing away this morning at the age of 86, I believe. I believe he was 86. So, yep, 86. So, obviously, great man. Played for some great Laker teams. Obviously, he just played for some great Laker teams. And just kind of wanted to mention that. Obviously, that's a big thing going on in the NBA world right now because he was
families
and all that. Because he was an NBA great. But anyway, we haven't talked about this in a while, so it's time to get going on this. Let's look at the Eastern Conference standings that I have pulled up here. Interestingly enough, the Philadelphia 76ers still sitting at that number one spot. Still holding on at 30-13. Now, I remember last year having a segment of our podcast back when we did super long, unedited podcasts, which I still want to kind of do those every now and again if we can. Just like a long podcast video. Just every now and again for a throwback. But we talked about the Sixers being in such a bad position just with all the contracts they had, and they were able to dump Al Horford's contract. They were able to get some shooters and Seth Curry. Oh gosh, if they got Steph Curry. Oh gosh. They got Seth Curry. They got Danny Green, who I don't care that he missed the one free throw or the one open 3-pointer in the finals. He is a great person to add. They got Dwight Howard in the back to back up Joel Embiid, who's having an MVP candidacy of a season. Ben Simmons is having a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. So is Joel Embiid is also a Defensive Player of the Year. Tobias Harris is playing well. Just everything seems to be going right for the 76ers team. Now, the biggest thing is, can they sustain that in the playoffs? It's the biggest question.
Well, the entire East is really a wild card. I have not watched a lot of the NBA, as most of you know. Spencer's more of the NBA person. I watch a crap ton of NCAA basketball. I really start paying attention to the NBA when NCAA basketball ends up ending.
Which is what we get to do now.
Yeah. So I start paying attention once NCAA is over, and I'll get to see a little more NBA before the playoffs this year, since it's going into more of May time. So.
Yeah, it's gonna go for a while now. But yeah, I mean, the Sixers look good.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is, can they stay healthy?
That's true. I mean, without the health, we'll be talking about someone who's having big time health issues right now. But yeah, definitely they'll need Simmons and Embiid specifically. He's been having an MVP season. I mean, I remember watching him drop, I think, like 51 against. I forgot who they were playing. It was someone good. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was the Rockets. No, they were the Clippers. I think they were playing the Clippers, and he dropped like 51. I can't remember. It was a while back. I had it on my side screen. But honestly, they're playing great. Like I said, the biggest thing is health. Can they stay healthy? We'll see. And then, of course, at 2, we all got your 7 stops or less Brooklyn Nets. To be fair, they've been a little better defensively. And also, if you told me this roster would exist 5-6 years ago, with Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden, I would just look at you and be like, you're stupid. They can't pay all those players. But it happened. I mean, obviously, Blake Griffin is on the veteran minimum. Obviously, he's a lot more happy playing in Brooklyn, considering he hadn't dunked in a year and a half, and the first time he touched the ball for Brooklyn, he dunked it. So, obviously, he's a lot happier playing in Brooklyn, and this team is, I mean, it's good. I mean, as long as, I think the biggest thing is Kyrie. Honestly, it's the biggest thing.
Can Kyrie be a ball handler? Not a ball handler, but can he be a floor general? Like, I like Kyrie. I think he has great skill. He's a greatly skilled player. But when you're making Harden be the point guard, I think that just plays into your... think that plays into a disadvantage. I think Kyrie has to back off and become the point guard. Not that he can't score. But he has to be the point guard. He has to be setting people up. But other than that, I mean, this team is good. I mean, I've seen them beat some great teams like the Phoenix Suns with only James Harden. It's like, this team is good, and I don't know who's going to be able to beat this team in a 7-game series besides maybe, like, the Bucks. Because, honestly, the Bucks with Giannis, I don't see anyone on that team that can guard Giannis. Same thing with Embiid. I don't see anyone on that team that can guard Embiid. I mean, I guess, no, I take that back. You're probably going to end up having to slide Kevin Durant down to guard Giannis. Or at least having him guard Giannis. But, I don't know. That's a good team, and that'll be a fun team to see what happens with. So, any thoughts on the Nets?
Well, I'm blanking out, but for Brooklyn, I think for me it's more of just everyone staying healthy and actually being able to play together. Because their three-headed monster of Durant, Harden, Irving have not really played together very much. At least one of them has been out pretty much every single game. And Irving's now out for a couple games due to family reasons, and I don't think Durant has returned yet either. So that's 2 of their 3 now for the Nets. And hey, look at their record. They are still absolutely killing it. So if this team can get healthy and they're all able to essentially play together all at once, and they all stay healthy all at once, I don't see really many teams, if anyone, that will be able to beat them. But they got to be healthy, and they got to be able to play together. Otherwise, they're going to have some problems.
Yeah. And now we get to the third of the East Big Three, the Milwaukee Bucks at 27-14. Obviously, Giannis is Giannis. Jrue Holiday is a much better, I think, fit and point guard on this team, defensively specifically, obviously, than Bledsoe was. Bledsoe always had a knack for not showing up in the playoffs. Freaking Chris Middleton is great. As much as I despise Dante DiVincenzo, he is playing great. Brook Lopez, obviously great. They got some great players off the bench. I mean, it's an all-around good team, but the question for this Bucks team, it's the same question we have every year for this Bucks team. Can they win in the playoffs? I mean, obviously losing to the Toronto Raptors in 2019 was embarrassing, but not terrible. That was a really good team. Not that the Heat weren't a good team, but the fact that they got absolutely manhandled by the Heat last year was not a good look for the Bucks. Again, that's nothing against the Heat, but this is back-to-back, the past 2 years, the best regular season team that's just gotten absolutely just shut down in the playoffs. So, biggest thing is let's see what they can do in the playoffs. The regular season doesn't matter. I mean, it matters, but not as much as the playoffs.
But Milwaukee, I mean, they have great players. They have Giannis. They have other guys that can play well. But really, for Milwaukee, like you said, playoffs. They seem to be that. I mean, this will sound a little. To me, they're like Gonzaga. They play so well in the regular season, and then in the playoffs they just blow every single year. They do
Yet
so
to be
well
seen.
in the regular season, and then when it comes to the postseason and the playoffs, and whatever, they just tank.
I'm holding you to that. If Gonzaga wins the championship, by the way. If Gonzaga wins the championship, I'm pulling up this clip. I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's the biggest thing. And now after the Bucks, we get to the part of the East that is literally anybody's game. I mean, literally all these teams are like 2 games within each other. All right, we got to talk about the 4-seed Atlanta Hawks. I mean, they finally started putting together. Nothing against Lloyd Pierce, but it seems to me that as soon as they got the new coach, they started doing really well and not underperforming. Just gonna put that out there. For those of you who said he shouldn't be fired, it looks like he should have been fired. But obviously the Hawks look at a great team. Got Trae Young, who is the most annoying player in the league, with his stupid foul baiting 24/7. God, that's annoying. And then you've got John Collins, who definitely looks like he wants out. Which, if John Collins wants out, that means he'll just slide Danilo Gallinari into the 4 with his traditional position. Obviously, Clint Capella has been having a sneaky good season. Nobody talks about Clint Capella, but he has just been having a sneaky great season. And then obviously Bogdan. Wait. One of the Bogdanoviches, the younger one, is a great shooter. Obviously, Rondo off the bench is a great addition. So obviously, I like this team. I thought this team was going to be in the playoffs regardless. I thought they'd be fighting for a 7 or 8 seed. Obviously, right now they're a 4 seed, but literally any of these teams win one more game, they slide down to like the 6, 7 seed. That's how wide open this part of the East is. But fun team.
I saw the Hawks had fired Lloyd Pierce. I saw their intern head coach would be Nate McMillan. I'm like, wait, I thought that was the Pacers head coach.
He got fired. He got fired.
The Hawks?
He got fired.
But yeah, the minute McMillan took over Atlanta, look what happened. I thought McMillan was good with Indiana. I didn't even know he got fired. But yeah, he's doing well. Atlanta definitely is on a hot streak here. I think they've won quite a few in a row, actually. I think they've won something around like 14 in a row or something. 8 in a row, not 14.
That's like almost all of the games they've actually won.
Yeah, they're on a pretty good roll here. They've done very well as of late, and yeah, I thought Atlanta would be pretty good this year. Early they struggled. They seem to be hitting their stride right now.
Mm-hmm. And then we bumped out of the next team, the defending Eastern Conference champions, the Miami Heat at 22-21. They've been such like a fluctuant team. Like they'll be like they started off the season so bad, and they went on a really good run, and they dropped off a little bit again, and they went back on a run. That's just the nature of this Miami Heat team, but obviously so many good pieces. Obviously the 2 big ones, Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. Bam Adebayo, one of the best youngsters in the league. Jimmy Butler, a great veteran. Obviously Tyler Hero's great. Duncan Robinson, us Michigan fans know how good Duncan Robinson can be, especially from 3. Obviously, I think one of the biggest things that's hurting this Miami Heat team is the loss of Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder was such a big piece for this team, but obviously not hurting him too bad. Still 5th in the East, still playing really well. Should still make the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, Miami to me is a streaky team. They have good games, they have bad games. Depends what Miami you get. Because their entire team just is a very streaky team. Their entire team, really, guys will either go absolutely bananas and not miss at all, or they'll miss just about everything they take. But no, Miami's a really good team. I like them a lot. I thought they'd be in the playoffs easily. Once again, kind of like the Hawks, they had a slow start and then picked it up right after, and well, here they are as a 5. There's not really that much gap between them and Pacers, who are somehow out of the playoffs. But
technically, no, they're technically in the play-in. And I don't know if you remember what the lines mean. The solid black line is out of playoff. The anyone in between the black line and the dotted line is the play-in game.
I forgot what the play-in game.
Yeah, so I believe it's 9 plays 10, then the winner plays 8, and the winner. Let me check. Talk about the Miami Heat. Let me check how that works again.
But yeah, Miami, they're a solid team overall. I like them. They have obviously a lot of good pieces. I don't really have a whole lot more to say, so let's move on to Boston.
Which, Boston, man.
What in the world has happened to Boston? I mean, I know they dropped a couple games to the Pistons, right? Let's go, what in the world, what are you doing?
But the Boston Celtics... They have too much talent to be 21-21. There is a solid bit there where they were even out of the playoffs. They have too much talent to be 21-21. I don't know. I wish I could tell you. I'm not gonna lie to you. Recently, I have been watching way more college basketball. I've not watched much NBA recently, just because I've been too focused on obviously everything going on with the tournament and stuff like that. So I can't tell you the problems with the Boston Celtics, but I can tell you there are problems with the Boston Celtics, and I'm pretty sure it's Kemba Walker hasn't been great, but he's also coming off an injury. So, but obviously, definitely underperforming if you're a Celtics fan.
Yeah, obviously Boston's very good. I mean, maybe it's just like a slow start. I know Jason Tatum had COVID, so maybe that's contributing to it a little bit. I wouldn't expect Boston to be down very long. I'd expect them to be back up in like the top 4 area. Mm-hmm. At least past Miami and Atlanta.
Yeah. And now we get to the play-in game, so I checked how it works. It's going to be a 7-8 game and a 9-10 game. The 7-8 game, the winner of that becomes the 7 seed, and then the loser has to play the winner of the 9-10. The winner of the 9-10 plays the loser of the 7-8, and the loser of the 9-10 is out. And then obviously 8 plays the loser of 7-8. You get what I mean. These 7-8 play, 9-10 play. Loser plays the winner of this one. And then, obviously, winner becomes the 8 seed, if that makes sense. Right? That makes sense? So, in this scenario, New York would play Charlotte, and Indiana would play Chicago. Say Charlotte wins. Charlotte is now the 7 seed. And now New York has to play the winner of the Pacers-Bulls. Say the Pacers win. Now it's New York versus Indiana. Winner becomes the 8 seed, if that makes sense. Okay.
Hey,
let's talk about the Knicks. Let's talk about big boy Julius Randle putting in work for the Knicks. I don't know. I mean, obviously, if you're a Knicks fan, you're having so much fun this year. They're the 7th seed in the playoffs right now, dude. The New York Knicks are just hanging around the 500 record. How crazy is that?
Well, they lost in one overtime to Philly just yesterday, so they really came close to knocking off the Sixers.
But they didn't win. They lost in overtime, you said?
By 101 to 100 in overtime. And they also came close.
Wow.
They had a lot of really close games.
That's a low scoring overtime game. Holy crap.
They
101 to 100.
Brooklyn. They lost by 3 to the Sixers and by 1 to the Sixers. Then they beat the Magic by 1. All low scoring. That was fun.
Good job. You beat the Magic.
Yeah, but New York definitely has some decent players. Obviously, they traded for D-Rose from the Detroit Pistons, giving us DSJ in a second-round pick. So, I think that's a nice addition for New York, especially if D-Rose returns to form, not like he did in the 1 year with Detroit. We never traded him, which made no sense. But New York definitely, I think, if they can continue to hang around that like 500 area, maybe get a little bit over, they should be in the playoffs or at least that play-in game and have a shot at a spot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. And now we get to the most fun team to watch in basketball. Like, you tell me the Hornets are playing on a specific night, I will watch that game. On their network specifically. Because not only do the Hornets have some of the most fun young players in the league, they have the best announcing crew in the league. You cannot tell me otherwise. I would rather watch a Hornets home game, or just a Hornets game on Hornets Network, rather than I would watch it on ESPN. I'd rather watch that than on TNT, on ABC. I would rather watch a Hornets game, just because the announcing crew.
LaMelo Ball?
The announcement crew. Dude, like, the announcement crew is amazing. Like, because, like, all these ESPN announcers, like, there's, like, this crazy dunk that happens. They're like, oh, ho, ho, look at the dunk. Whereas the Hornets guys, like, Miles with the slam! Like, they just get all up in arms, and it's just so much fun. I remember there was one game where the Hornets were playing the Warriors. It was great, because the Warriors were wearing this jersey, and the Hornets were wearing their City Edition jerseys, which I don't know why I wore the Oakland jersey in the Eastern Conference video, but whoops. But I don't know, it was just back and forth, and Terry Rozier was going off at the end, and it was just so much fun because the announcers made it so much more fun. But obviously, LaMelo Ball is Rookie of the Year. I don't think anyone has can compete with him.
Are you sure? He's done for the year.
Oh, I didn't hear that. That's upsetting. He up to this point.
Likely done for the season with a wrist injury.
Really? He is likely done for the season. I didn't see that. No.
Yeah, best.
Okay. If he didn't get injured though, easily Rookie of the Year. No question. I mean, his stats are absurd. I don't know why I went off of his page. I need to go back to his page. I mean, look at this. 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists a game. That's good. That's good for a rookie. What are his shooting splits? Give me his shooting splits. I want to see his shooting splits. I mean, 45% from the field, 37 from 3, and almost about 79% for free throw. That's good. That's good numbers for a rookie coming in. So, sad to see that he's probably out for the rest of the year, but otherwise, Hornets are super fun. And they're going to be a fun team in the future as he matures.
Yeah, Charlotte's got a solid team. They have a lot of playmakers. Obviously, they have Gordon Hayward, who I really like, honestly. Gordon Hayward can definitely play.
He's a great fit for that team.
Obviously, LaMelo Ball is a big-time loss for the Charlotte Hornets. Not that I really like LaMelo Ball at all. I'm not a big fan on the LaMelo Ball buzz.
I love watching him. I love watching him play. He's just so much fun to watch play, though. Like, I can respect it. He's so much fun to watch play. But
yeah, that definitely hurts Charlotte. They have good players.
Terry Rozier, PJ Washington.
He's very well too.
Rozier's been great. PJ Washington's been great. As much as I hate to admit it, Miles Bridges has been a spark plug off the bench for him. I mean, I guess I don't really have too much against Miles Bridges besides the fact that he played for Michigan State, but that's enough for me to dislike him. But
yeah,
Hornets.
Charlotte's got some players, and as you said, the more these guys mature, the more scary they'll become.
I think they'll be a decent playoff team in the future. And the Pacers. Come on, Indiana. Come on. I know you traded away VO, but, like, you have Domantas Sabonis, Miles Turner, Malcolm Brogdon. I'm forgetting, I think they were the ones who got Karis LeVert, right? In that trade?
Yeah, they have
Karis LeVert.
He was out for a while because of the kidney problem. He had a
TJ Warren hurt?
LeVert, he had a mass on his kidney.
Yeah, I knew that.
So he was out for a while. I think he came back.
Is TJ Warren hurt? I don't think so. You got a good team. I don't know why they're 19-22, but they are. So I don't really have much to say other than they're 19-22, and they should be way better with the talent that they have. Speaking of,
a couple teams have been underperforming. Boston, of course, we talked about earlier. The Pacers are another one. Really surprised to see them down here. There's another one still as we go lower down, but that's another few. So.
Speaking of underperforming with the talent, the Chicago Bulls. Like, I knew they weren't going to be a good team, right? But they're just like, Kobe White has not been great. I've watched videos on, like, Bulls fans have just been so upset with them. They blow leads in the final minutes of games. They're like, imagine Ohio State in the Big Ten tournament, but, like, on steroids every single night. That's what the Chicago Bulls have been. They just keep blowing games. I mean, Zach LaVine's gone out and played out of his mind. Lauri Markkanen has not shown much effort this season. Thaddeus Young has looked good. But other than that, I mean, with the talent they have, the Bulls have not been playing great. But obviously they're still in the play-in. So, there's that.
Yeah, the Bulls are they're a young team still, obviously. They're very, very young. So, for the Bulls, I think it's more of just maturing. And they do have a great head coach. So, I like the Bulls team. I don't like the Bulls themselves. I am a Pistons fan. I hate the Chicago Bulls.
Chicago Bulls are our least favorite team.
Yeah. And I'm not a Bucks fan either. But, I mean, they're a solid team. I think they're a playoff team. They should be able to get at least a play-in game.
And then the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah, here's the team I was talking about that was significantly underperforming. Toronto.
I mean,
what the heck is happening?
Obviously, losing.
They had a great run. They got the record right back up there. And all of a sudden, they lost 8 games in a row.
I mean, the biggest thing is the loss of Serge Ibaka and Marc Gasol. They lost both of those guys and replaced them with Alex Len. Alex Len. Pascal Siakam has not looked great. Kyle Lowry looks like he's ready to be traded. The only bright spot on this Raptors team right now is OG Anunoby. I mean, Fred VanVleet's good, but I'm saying younger bright spots has been OG Anunoby. Other than that, Toronto doesn't look that great this year. And now we get to the backcourt duo, aptly dubbed by fans as Sexland. Colin, Sexton, and Darius Garland.
You're my body. Horrible.
Obviously, both of them are looking great. Obviously, this Cavaliers team is not that greatest. I'm just going to put it lightly. But they have a future. Not really much else to say from the Cavaliers besides they just aren't that great.
Well, I'm curious what's going to happen with Andre Drummond because he is still with the Cavs. They have never traded him or bought him out. So, and that's a curious thing about the NBA trade deadline is coming up here. We have not seen a lot of trades this year in the NBA. Of course,
they're all waiting. They're all waiting.
PJ Tucker going to the Bucks. But other than that, there hasn't really been a whole lot of movement besides Blake getting bought out by the Pistons. As you're starting to see more, there's not really trading anymore. Everyone's getting everyone's waiting for guys to get their contracts bought out, and then they go and sign them instead of just trading them.
Basically, yeah.
I mean, LaMarcus Aldridge is also he's waiting to get traded or bought out, kind of like Andre Drummond is right now.
Something.
Both those guys are looking to go somewhere else. Scary thing is one of those two could end up going to the Nets with Blake Griffin. Imagine Andre Drummond or LaMarcus Aldridge.
LaMarcus Aldridge would make way more of an impact than Andre Drummond would. LaMarcus Aldridge would make way more of an impact than Drummond. They'd be scary. Pretty scary. Anyway, cool for the Cavs. The Wizards. God, Russell Westbrook has just been terrible. The rest of the roster has just not been great. The only thing that's good about this team is Bradley Beal. Why has he not asked to be traded yet? Just go, man. You deserve to be on a good team. I want the Warriors to trade for him. I want the Warriors to trade for him.
Bradley Beal's been doing very well, obviously. Honestly, to me, it looks like Westbrook's doing just fine. Maybe his shooting percentage is awful or something like that, but
he's just old. I mean, not old, but the way his play style has been for the past 5-6 years, ever since Kevin Durant left, he's had to take so much of the workload that I think it's finally catching up to him. Just how physical his play has always been. I think that's finally catching up to him. That's why you see spot up shooters like Kyle Korver and J.J. Redick playing for so long, but like Russell Westbrook can't because he's dealt with injuries and he's played super physically, which I respect him for, but obviously age is gonna hurt him a little bit more.
Well, he's shooting 44% this year from the field, so that's not terrible.
That's decent. I mean, who else is gonna take the shots though besides Bradley Beal?
Westbrook.
Mo Wagner.
Yeah, Mo Wagner.
Get Mo Wagner all the touches. Wizards, hear me out. Draft Franz. If you have Franz and Mo together, then you cannot be stopped.
Yeah, totally.
100%.
But moving on to the next team, I suppose.
The Magic.
Really a whole lot to talk about these bottom two.
Just the Magic have just been dealing with injuries. Simple as that. Obviously, Markelle Fultz hurt. Jonathan Isaac hurt. Vucevic is having a great season as always, but not much else to say. And then the Pistons, obviously rebuilding. They suck. They're supposed to suck though. So at least they're good at doing what. At least they're good at being bad. So that's gonna be it for this video. We're gonna split it up into East and West. So thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your nights. Peace.